everyone, this is Paul Gale from paulgalenetwork.com, and thank you for joining me today for video game news. It is September 30th, 2020, and these are the top stories of the day. To kick things off, Spider-Man time. As you can see, I'm a big Spidey fan. I've got my shirt on, celebrating this news today. What you're looking at here is Spider-Man as he's being presented on the PlayStation 5, but this is based off of the 2018 Spider-Man for PlayStation 4. As you can see here, though, this is captured on PlayStation 5 with improved visuals, new suits, amazing Spider-Man suit, and upgrades to the game overall. We're going to have updated city environments, improved models and materials, ray trace reflections and ambient shadows. We'll have new skies and weather effects, upgraded characters. You'll see a greater visual fidelity in their skin, eyes, teeth shaders, individually rendered strands of hair, and new capture tech. Peter Parker, and this is a big one, his face has been recast. It's going from John Bubniak to Ben Jordan. Insomniac says that this decision was made to better match Peter Parker / Spider-Man and the actor that supplies the facial capture for him, Yuri Lowenthal. I'm going to show you that in a bit, but I want to talk about things that everybody unanimously likes, because the latter thing is a bit controversial for some folks. This game obviously will have other improvements, such as the 60 frames per second performance mode, near instant loading, but you will be able to turn back on fast travel animations if you wish, spatial 3D audio on compatible headphones, haptic feedback, and adaptive trigger support with that new PlayStation 5 controller. A new photo mode with new features such as placing lights behind Spidey, changing your suit once you've lined up the shot. That's pretty cool. New suits in general, as I previously mentioned, and a new trophy list. Now, that's all nice. How much does it cost? Well, if you're buying the definitive edition of Spider-Man Miles Morales for PlayStation 5, you will get this upgraded 2018 Spider-Man for free. This upgrade is exclusive on PlayStation 5, whereas the Miles Morales Spider-Man game can be sold individually on PS4 or on PS5 individually. If you then want this Spider-Man game, you could pay additionally on the side as a big DLC basically to experience it only on the PS5. So if you're a PS4 Pro gamer or a PS4 gamer and you're not planning on upgrading a PS5, it does you no good to buy the definitive edition necessarily of Spider-Man Miles Morales, because the Spider-Man content right here is only going to be able to be played on the PS5. If you plan on getting a PS5 or you are getting a one at launch, kind of makes sense to chip in a couple extra bucks so that you have this basically slightly remastered version of 2018's hit game. It definitely looks good. Another screenshot right here that I picked out, I think looks stunning. Here you really see the impressiveness from reflections, lights, ray tracing, illumination, shadow work like crazy. Lots of detail in the environment. Obviously, this is a Spider-Man suit. The polygon model of him looks beefier, looks more textured. This is his suit from the 2018 Spider-Man game. But overall, just lighting, the shadows, the reflections, the curvature of how light is bouncing off of cars, the streets, everything looks beautiful. Can't wait to see the next gen puddles, and this is just the beginning of it, right? When we see what Insomniac Games puts together a few years into the PlayStation 5's lifetime, the game that comes out after Spider-Man Miles Morales, right? Spider-Man 2, if you will, or whatever it's called. I think that thing's going to be a stunner. So this is already looking good, though. Now, one of the things I mentioned was the look of Peter Parker changing, right? Here's how you remember him as, which I thought was fantastic, by the way. This Peter Parker was so good that in my original review on paulgalenetwork.com of Spider-Man, I said that I think this is now my new favorite take on Spidey ever. And I said that with a gulp, and I kind of gulped right now because that's a big claim. I was a fan of the Tobey Maguire series, of the Andrew Garfield series. I like Spider-Man currently being depicted in the Marvel Universe by Tom Holland. I was a big fan of the Fox Kids show back in the day. I've liked Spider-Man and his interpretation in the Marvel vs. Capcom games. And, overall, I'm a big fan of Spidey. But I think they nailed it so well in this that I really wrapped around this Peter Parker, this voice actor, this CGI model that did the capturing, and it's changed. Now, not necessarily a bad thing, but it's changed. Before I show you the change, Brian Intihar, old friend from Electronic Gaming Monthly and OneUp.com days when I used to work over there with them, met several times over the years at various E3s. Really cool guy. Still stay in touch. So, Brian Intihar, props to you for being cool. Keep up the good work, and I wish you all well at Insomniac Games. On a little aside there. But specifically, I won't read the whole thing, but you can check out Brian Intihar on his Twitter right here, Brian Intihar. Basically, I'll summarize this. He said that the Peter Parker face model change has come to a shock to a lot of people. And, trust them at Insomniac Games. They didn't take the decision lightly. They don't want to upset any fans, but they really feel like this new direction is going to help the longevity of Spider-Man and really establishing their take on this beloved Marvel character going forward. The thing is, and I will show you, perhaps it does match Yuri Lowenthal's facial features. Perhaps it does match the voice better of Peter Parker. That remains to be seen in the long run. You could check out Insomniac Games' update and see the video yourself on YouTube. But, we'll see what fans think overall when they're playing the game. But this is the new Spidey. This is Peter Parker. It looks a lot different than this photo, right? In fact, I have a better shot, which is a side-by-side shot right here. And this is courtesy of El Analista de Bits, who put this side-by-side up on YouTube. So you could check them out. This is what, Peter Parker looked like on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 4 Pro, and this is what it looks like now. It's not just an upgraded polygon model made to make this guy look more realistic. It's a whole different look. This is a reskin. This is a new actor to depict Peter Parker for this same game, in fact. And that's thrown a lot of people off. It's not bad. This is not a bad take on Peter Parker. It's just different. And that different could be okay. We've seen how he looks like talking in this scene in particular with Doc Ock before he goes all bad and whatnot. But, the lips match up fine. The eyes still match up fine. Everything, the facial features, all looks realistic, and it's all, superbly well done, really well animated, the lighting, the shadows cast upon his face. You can see there's, a little bit more attention to detail here than it was here, but I'll let you decide on which one do you think looks better. But objectively speaking, I think it's safe to say that this Spider-Man looks younger, right? If this one was introduced first back in 2018, I don't think anybody would have had any issues with him. We know that Spider-Man, saving New York City, has been in the game for several years at that point. So we know that he's not a kid in high school anymore. Time has passed. He's been in the role of Spider-Man for a while. This doesn't look like a teenager necessarily in high school, like a 15, 16-year-old Spider-Man, but it does look younger than this Spider-Man. But what Brian said and what Insomniac said about they feel like this is the best way to go moving forward, I think they have more to tell for Spider-Man. I think they see this as a long-time character, a franchise, if you will, more than just maybe a cameo, perhaps, in the Miles Morales game, more than just a Spider-Man 2, but perhaps a part of a bigger project, a Spider-Man 3, 4, 5, a team of Spidey and Cap, Spidey and Wolverine down the road, maybe Spider-Man being introduced into the Avengers. And maybe they didn't want to have a Spider-Man that looked too old and couldn't do as much with him going forward. Maybe they wanted to age him down a bit. Canonically, probably they're not going to change the age. They're probably not going to say like, oh, I've been doing it for 2 years instead of 7 or 10. That'll probably remain the same unless if they do tweak that. But maybe they wanted to have a different, younger looking Spider-Man so that he could grow into the character more and thus kind of last longer if they want to make this a franchise and have Spidey games for many years to come and not have to age this look up too much that, starting to look like a 40-year-old Spider-Man when in his prime he should be in his late 20s, mid 30s, stuff like that, right? It's good. It's a fine update. Some people are saying that this looked more like Andrew Garfield and this looks more like Tom Holland. I could see that. Overall, I support Insomniac's decision. I would have preferred, honestly, this look remain because I was really on board with that. But like I said, if you don't have this nostalgia, well, if you could call it nostalgia being 2 years old, but if you don't have this memory in your mind of Spider-Man playing it on PS4 in 2018 or in the last couple of years, and you pick up Spider-Man as part of the Miles Morales pack or individual DLC for PS5, and you're playing it the first time this fall, this holiday season, with this Spidey, you're not going to have any problems, I'm sure. You're going to experience a fantastic game with probably what's going to still be top-notch, facial features matched to the voice. Like I said, I watched the video. It matched up just fine. And this is going to become your Spidey. And we'll get used to it too. We'll play it and we'll be okay with it. And going forward, time will slowly erase this model, and that's okay. Other things, though, are changing. Doc Ock, this is what I thought that they would do with Spidey when, a couple of months back we heard our new render of Peter Parker for next gen. Our new render, just a more detailed Peter Parker or, full-on different face? Well, we got the full-on different face, but, most of us probably thought something like this. Here you can see there's a greater texture and detail. Look at this stuff on PS4 and look at this stuff on PS5. The stitching looks more crisp. The black lines are more pronounced. The zipper has a little bit of lighting. You can see ray tracing involved in this even dark shot. The lighting on his face and the little dots in his skin. It's impressive looking stuff. And this is just, an upgraded port of a PS4 game on PS5. Wait till we see, that next Spider-Man game a few years from now from Insomniac. It's going to be off the hook, I'm sure. But pretty impressive. You'll have to let me know. I know we spent, a good 13 minutes talking on Spider-Man today in video game news. It's going to eat up a lot of today's, show presentation. But it's a pretty big deal because this was a pretty awesome game, and I want to know your thoughts. Are you happy with the model change? Are you mad? Are you indifferent? It'll be good to hear some of your opinions. Anyways, next up, we have some Nintendo news. Nintendo has had partnerships with many companies this year, and the latest is Cold Stone. This is the Super Mario Birthday Cake Batter Bash. We got Mario's Superstar Shake, the Rainbow Road Rally, and Mario's Super Birthday Blast Cup. This is available, these special edition cups, until December 15th. So if you're looking to cool off as we approach October, because it's still pretty hot, at least if you're in California, September 30th, and it hit 102 today, so it's pretty warm over here. But if you're looking to cool off and you want some Mario to go along with that, here you go. Here's some cool cups over at Cold Stone Creamery, and I might just check it out myself. So I had to give that a little shout out because it looks nice. Next up, this is actually courtesy of IGN. I've been following it, and they released it today. If you want to go see the main big list of this, go to IGN.com and check it out. This is their best games of the 90s from the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. This is the final top 10 list that was made up of the fans voting over 1.5 million times of these various 1-versus-1 battles. And this was to determine the top 161 games of that generation. And like I said, you can see the whole list. Go to IGN for that. But I wanted to share their top 10 and give them some props, give them a little highlight on Video Game News with Paul Gale Network. So, coming in number 10, even though you could see it already if you wanted to. Super Mario All-Stars. At 9 is Street Fighter 2 Turbo. This actually shouldn't say Super there, because Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo did not release on the SNES. Here at number 8 is Sonic the Hedgehog. Number 7, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Number 6, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time. Number 5, Donkey Kong Country. Number 4, Super Metroid. Number 3, Super Mario Kart. Number 2, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. And number 1, Super Mario World. This is quite a fine top 10. I think most gamers that were playing back in the day would pick any one of these 10 as deserving to be in the top 10. And probably one of these games is on your particular number 1 spot. It's mostly a Super Nintendo chart, with only 2 of the top 10 being on Sega Genesis, these 2 Sonic titles. This trips me out, even looking at it. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo was not a Super Nintendo release, nor was it a Sega Genesis release. It didn't come out on either of those platforms. It came out on other systems. So Street Fighter 2 Turbo, though, that's an SNES title. But it's hard to argue with this list. There are plenty of other games that aren't here that you might be like, where the heck is Final Fantasy VI or Final Fantasy III? Where's Mortal Kombat 2? Go to IGN, check it out. It's a cool list. But yeah, it's hard to argue with it. Personally, I would put Donkey Kong Country 2 up higher. I also wouldn't mind seeing Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island somewhere on here. But, this is what the fans voted over 1.5 million times of these 1-versus-1 battles. So, yeah, it's not a bad list. Next up, yesterday I reported that tomorrow, September 30th, which is now today, would be your last opportunity to download Jump Rope Challenge for free. And then it was going to be either taken off or moved to a new pricing structure of not free, something like $3. That was just my guess. But here we found out today, Nintendo decided to postpone that. There is no immediate cutoff. They'll announce an update at a future date, and that's kind of cool because it's a fun little game. It's free, and I guess let it be downloaded a couple more million times before you eventually make people pay for it, right? And last bit of gaming news, the Animal Crossing Special Edition. I said a couple of weeks ago that it was coming back, and once again, out of stock. But if you're watching today, this could be yours. Ta-da! I already have a Nintendo Switch. I don't need another one, but I bought this for one of you. When we get to 100,000 subscribers, this could be yours. It's brand new. Came in the mail today from Best Buy. It's the special edition Animal Crossing Nintendo Switch. Has not been opened. It's not a joke. When we hit 100,000 subscribers, this is for one of you. It's obviously the console itself, the Nintendo Switch. This is the newer model with the better battery. This has the very nice looking dock with Timmy and Tommy on it, with Tom Nook. It's got the cool pastel looking, well, you could look on there, but I'm showing it here. You got the nice looking Joy-Cons. You've got the Joy-Con grip and the top sliders that go on so you can play with the Joy-Cons in horizontal mode for 2 players and whatnot. And of course, yeah, no game involved, no game included, no copy of Animal Crossing, I should say. But it's pretty. It's sold out yet again. I don't need it. I bought it for the YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. 100,000 is still off, so I'm going to hold on to this. And when we get there, just by being a subscriber, you are entered. If you comment, you are entered in one more time. Now, if you comment 1,000 times, that's not going to increase your chances. I take who comments, I take the whole list of who subscribes. If your name is on the subscriber list, you're entered in once. If you comment at least one time on any one of my videos, you're entered in a second time. So you'll have a 1 in 100,000 shot at getting it, and your odds might be even better than that, because if you comment at least once, you're entered in twice. So that increases your odds. Anyways, it's for free for you, not for me. I had to pay for it. But that's my gift. That's my thanks back for helping the channel grow and whatnot. That's it today for video game news. Spent a lot of time on Spider-Man. Thanks for bearing with me, but I love the game, so I thought I'd give it a good shout out. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're going to go to Cold Stone and get some Mario flavored shakes and cakes and whatnot. Let me know what you think about that top 10 list from IGN. Let me know, did you finally download Jump Rope? Because you should have after yesterday's video. And don't take it lightly that Nintendo's expanding it. Go do it now. And also, are you pumped up for this Nintendo Switch? Hey, if you have one yourself, you could do what you want with this second one. If you happen to win, you could give it to a friend and make for an awesome present for their birthday or something. All right, that's it for Video Game News with Paul Gale Network. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow. Oh, how could I forget? It's not on here, but tomorrow morning, the last bit of news that I could say is that we are getting, at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, that's California time, a brand new Super Smash Bros. Ultimate character reveal trailer. It's going to be like a 3-minute presentation with Masahiro Sakurai revealing a brand new character. I am stoked. Rumors are going crazy. People don't know, is it going to be Gino? Could we have Scorpion from Mortal Kombat? Doom Guy from Doom? Could we have Sora from Kingdom Hearts? With all of this Zelda talk of Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, could we get Daruk or Revali, Urbosa, or Mifa? Who's it going to be tomorrow? A third-party character and a Nintendo first-party character? We don't know. But I can't believe I almost forgot. October 1st is already off to a bang. I can't wait. I will be here live tomorrow to live stream that. So stay tuned. And I will also mention whoever that character is in tomorrow's video game news with PGN as well. All right. Woo! Glad I didn't forget that. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a good one. See you next time. Bye.